And then back to Iguodala to the rim. Oh, great block. James out of nowhere, skies to the rim. Boyd took the advantage and played on from inside the center square. Boyd kicked the goal. Boyd kicked the goal from inside the center. Here's Aloisi for a place in the World Cup. He hands right back up. Big head kick. Down goes Thompson. It's over.
Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage. All right, welcome guys to the first episode of Double Coverage. How you doing, Domma?
What's happening, Saucy? Very glad to be here. Long time in the making, mate. Long time in the making.
We've talked about it for a while. We figured, why not? Let's give it a crack. Let's bring the double coverage
Bloody
and
oath.
make it happen.
Definitely. I think we've been talking about it since, I reckon, high school days, mate. And that's, we're talking about a fair while now, almost 10 years. So, yeah,
It's
we
taken us 10
finally...
years to build up the coverage to put our mugs
Yeah.
on the screen. So
Yeah.
everyone should feel privileged to see this face.
I think it's also been good as well. Like, we've had more time on our hands, obviously, with the COVID pandemic happening at the moment, as we're based in Australia. So based in Australia and based in Melbourne. So we're locked down. So yeah, we've got some more time. And one thing, since we've decided to kick this podcast off, we've actually started to set some time aside each week to deliver some news and some opinions and some hot takes from some sporting news that's happening around the world. So
Bit of trading cards sprinkled in. What are your thoughts?
yes, yeah. Well, you're the man. Old Saucy Collectibles. You got to follow him at Saucy Collectibles. He's all over it. We've got a segment later in the show called Sauceys Smokey. It'll be a weekly feature, and Saucy's going to give us a bit of an insight into a dark horse card
Listen
that he's
out,
extremely
ladies and gentlemen.
undervalued.
Listen out. This is one card I'm buying. I'm bringing every week. I'm buying. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. That I think should be rated higher than what it is. You know, people like to throw the word out there, undervalued. But I'm just going to say, I'm going to bring the stats. I'm going to bring the reason, and I'll let you decide.
That's it, mate. You are all about the facts, which is what we love. So yeah, we look forward to giving you some news each week, and I think we'll get straight into it, shall we? So NBA starting Friday in Australia, Thursday America. So Friday our time. We're going to talk about the Philly 76ers and Ben Simmons, our homegrown hero, Ben Simmons.
Benny Simmons, we're hoping he's starting to shoot some threes. We're going to hope. We're praying.
We're praying. We are praying. And the other thing as well is we're looking at him as a big dark horse to come out of the East. Potentially win the East, and whatever eventuates from there in finals basketball, if they can get there. We'll talk about it when we get to that point. But we do think that they can get out of there. Dark horse, during the off break, Simmons looked great. He employed a psychologist to help him to get into the right frame of mind to shoot threes. There was a lot of pushing by the looks of things. We've been wanting him to shoot the threes.
We have been. And we aren't asking him to take the pull-up three or the dribble pull-up three. We're just asking him to take the wide open ones off the ball movement where you get that nice open look. He has to take it. And I think, you know, we've been waiting for it, and he's teased it throughout the season. And, you know, with that break, I'm thinking, you know what he's been doing? He's been in the lab. He's been putting up 1,000, 2,000 shots a day, working on that three. Because he doesn't got to work at his playmaking. He doesn't got to work at his finishing around the ring. You know, his defense, we know that's elite. It's that three-point shot. You know, three-point shot, that mid-range shot, that once that comes into his game, man, like, you know, you need to look out. This guy's going to be unstoppable. Like, he's only in his third season. You know, could be a bit biased because, you know, he is Australian, but that's just how I feel. If he really, you know, can put those things together, like, it's going to take the Philly team to the next level. So
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I think it's one of those things, though, as well. If you've got the 3 and you're going to take the 3, like, you want to have respect on your name. Like, you don't want it every time you're getting the ball open, the defender sags and goes, well, we can bloody, pardon the pun, double coverage on someone that's in the key, mate.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we
You want
first
to
seen this
force them
sort
to
of
come
coverage.
to you.
We first seen this
Yeah.
sort of coverage when, if anyone remembers Boston, their big 3, they were good. But what ended up happening was defenses realized Rondo can't shoot threes. So what they would do is they'd clog the lane. And they would allow Rondo that open 3. And that's what they're doing to Ben Simmons. It's what they've done in the playoffs last year. They're literally leave him at the top of the key, wide open, and sag off and drop into the key. So that clogs it up for Joel. Doesn't give him as much room to move in there. And, we know what type of beast he is. We know that, there's not many players that can guard him on the block. And they really need to get him more involved. And to get him more involved, Ben Simmons has got to take that 3. Because by him taking that 3, he keeps the defense honest, keeps that defense stretched out a bit more, gives Joel that extra 1-2 seconds, maybe that extra 2 or 3 dribbles that he needs to get that move in on the block, or get that move into the point where he has enough time to see the double team coming to then kick it back out. Because
it's all about,
what was happening is
keep him
they were
honest.
sagging down and they were taking those steals off Joel getting frustrated, and that all leads to not taking that open 3 when you've got the opportunity. So
do you think like, your opinion on this, do you think that could be a reason why we've heard reports, obviously Ben and Joel have both said that their relationship is fine, but all reports coming out of Philly have always said they've had a tumultuous relationship. It hasn't been the greatest of relationships.
Like, I mean, this is all I'm going to say. This is all I'm going to say on this point.
Yeah, like,
right?
Joel,
I'm going to say this on that point. Anyone remember how the media was trying to tear down John Wall and Bradley Beal, their relationship? Bradley Beal went on all the Smoke podcasts, Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, any basketball fan will have listened to the podcast. And he categorically said, like, they were just trying to tear us down. Like, the media was, but through the media, they were getting in their own head. But they then went and spoke to each other, Wall and Beal, and there was nothing wrong with them. So I feel that there could be a bit of there could be a bit of that narrative trying to be pushed by the media. Don't always believe everything you read. Like, both them looked like they were hurting so much when they got knocked out last year by Toronto. So, I mean, that fire's burning.
Which not for anything, they were
one lucky shot away for not.
It was literally a ball roll on the hoop away from playing in a final series where, ladies and gentlemen, they would have won. As simple as that. It's not, you don't know if they were going to win. I'm telling you now.
If the exact things transpired, what happened for Toronto, KD going down, Clay going down, those exact things transpired.
They had
Philadelphia
the best
Seven Sisters would be the World Championships last year.
They got the best playmaker, the best big man, 100%. And it'd be a different story, and we look at it completely different coming into this season. But obviously, we got into this season, and whatever's happened.
I mean,
and they've had a break. They've been able to work on stuff. Joel and Ben could have come back, and the rest of the team could have come back unfit. Well, they're all going to be unfit because they're not game fit. But they could have put on weight. They could have gone the opposite direction. They could have been lazy. We've heard reports Chris Middleton didn't shoot a basketball for the 3 months he was away from the sport. Like, you know what I mean? It could have been like that. But they've done the work. We'll see what happens. Gilbert McGregor from the Sporting News actually said that Brett Brown reckons that there's been a paradigm shift as well in Simmons' attitude to take that 3. So that's good signs. It all comes down to what's going to happen. And this moves us into Ben Simmons, as reports. He's going to play the 4. So he's going to play power forward. And I've actually written down what their starting five is going to look like, because this is what they started with going into the scrimmages that have been happening in the last few days, over the last week, sorry. So it's going to have Shake Milton as the point, Josh Richardson at the 2, Tobias Harris will play the 3, the small forward, Ben will play the 4, and Joel at the 5. So it's not as big, because as it was before, Ben was playing point guard, and then Al Horford was in the starting lineup. Their bench now, with that new starting lineup, Shake Milton was a bit of a revelation before they went into their lockdown. So
Showing
that
he
was
can
good.
shoot from outside,
Yeah,
so that's
shoot.
what they
And he
need.
can
They
shoot
need
in
those
the
shooters, because he's going to get
Exactly.
those opportunities with Ben Simmons.
Exactly. Josh Richardson didn't show it. I'm a Miami fan, so I watched a lot of Josh Richardson. He can shoot the ball. He was the go-to guy in Miami. I was actually shattered that we got rid of him. He didn't show it, obviously, before the break, but he can shoot the ball. If he gets hot, he's not missing.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a real
genuinely
confidence rhythm guy. You're
Yeah.
like, he needs to get going, and
I'm-
once he gets
I'm
that
looking-
shot going,
I'm literally
good.
looking at the starting 5, Sauce. The 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5, because MB can shoot threes. You don't want the center to shoot threes, but they can all shoot threes. 4 of the 5. If Ben can shoot threes, game over. Off the bench. This is who they got off the bench now. Al Horford off the bench now. He can shoot threes. Playmaker, great. A replacement for Embiid, fantastic. Glenn Robertson the 3rd, he's looked all right. See as how he goes. He's jumped across a few teams. They got Matisse Thybulle, which is showing
Matisse.
something. Yeah, Matisse is showing something.
People like his cards in the hobby. Let me tell you
Yeah,
that.
I know. They're all over him at the moment. Raul Neto as well. Alec Burks, who's a decent player from Utah. Mike Scott can shoot the ball. And then our boy, mate, Big Carlo Quinn from the Knickerbockers. Carlo Quinn. He's more of an enforcer. He's not going to do much. He's more there just to beat down on the opposition.
He's there to come in and foul late.
Exactly.
Late in the game, they'll give him the foul instead of one of the lead players.
He's there to do the hacker shack that hurt the player. Exactly right. But that's their team now. It's actually not that bad. I've even put down their schedule. Listen to this. You're telling me they're sitting at the moment. I'll tell you where Philly's sitting at the moment. We're going to do later in the podcast a more in-depth look at all the teams in the bubble. But this is where they're sitting, Sauce. They're 6th, 39 wins. They're not catching Milwaukee. They're not catching Toronto. All right? They're 4 games behind Boston in 3rd. They're equal with Indiana in 5th, and they're 2 games behind Miami. They're better than Indiana. They're better than Miami. Don't know if they're better than Boston, Toronto, and Milwaukee. We reckon they can. They are. Like, if they put their best basketball forward. This is who they're playing. Indiana.
Yep.
Winnable. Spurs. Winnable. Washington. Winnable. Orlando. Winnable. Portland. We don't know if Dame's going to play with that bit of a scare. We don't know.
Yep.
Winnable.
Yeah,
Phoenix. Winnable. Toronto, winnable. They've got no Kawhi now. And Houston, winnable because it's small ball basketball and they got the height, the power, the strength. They got playmakers. They can potentially win every single... I know you can say, any team can win all 8 of their games. They should win, looking at this, 6 of the 8 automatically.
And we've got to realise, guys, what has been Philly's one of their biggest downfalls the last 2 seasons. They can't win away from home. Facts. They suck. Well, there's no home. There's no away. There's a bubble. Everyone's got the same court. Everyone's got the same advantage or disadvantages, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of people have said though, but they are playing away from home. But like you just said, there's no advantage to the away team when they go travel there now. That's the thing you got to think about. Everyone goes, oh yeah, but they're playing away. They're not at home. Yeah, but there's
but when you play away,
fans from the other team screaming at you.
Correct. Logically, logic would tell you if you're playing an away game, there's a home team that has that away game, like it's their court. That's why. And like you said, there's no fans. It makes a big difference.
Fans. It makes a big difference. Like,
huge
I don't care what you say. And, I've been listening to quite a few podcasts, through the week. And ex-NBA players are saying, like, we couldn't imagine what it would be like playing without fans. Like, we fed off the fans. When we went on a run, we would push harder because, the fans were cheering us on that hard. But, how does that affect the players?
Oh,
We
it's going
don't
to be
know.
a mental thing, 100%.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Oh.
a massive test of the mind, 100%. Not just
Yeah.
physical, because obviously they've got to get into game shape again. Scrimmages aren't going to get you in game shape after being off for 3 months. It doesn't. Let's just wake up and let's be honest.
Nah, it won't. But
And, yeah,
yeah,
we can
All
touch
right.
on it again a bit
we
later.
can touch
but
on
we'll
it a bit
move
later. But we'll move on. You heard it here first. We think that Philly can go all the way. With the reasons that we pointed out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon they can do it.
Let's take it on to the next thought. Our second hot take is just touching on the sporting seasons at the moment and whether they have legitimacy to it. So we hear the throwaway line, this season doesn't count, this season counts for nothing, there's no fans. Oh, what's this? Well, let me just say, if you're a professional athlete and you're sitting there and you're rocking up to your job, your passion, what you love to do, are you going there every day, working that hard to then say, oh, I don't really care about the season? Honestly, Dom, as a professional athlete, are you thinking that?
Well, if you're Golden State and you want the lottery.
Yeah, if you're Golden State,
Well, if you didn't get invited,
they're just trying to get the good picks. Don't worry about Golden State. Don't get me started on that. Golden State going to be in the top 4 next season in the West.
Yeah,
they're going to be in the top 4, and they're going to be back in the playoffs. And people are forgetting how good that team really was without.
The West is automatically better next year.
Don't be surprised if the NBA goes, oh, we're scrapping East and West, and we're just going to put the best.
Play one, yeah.
We're just going to put the best teams.
I'm completely with you on that. I know, you know how I feel about this, and I've lost my marbles. I'll try and keep it a bit together tonight, but I just don't understand.
Lose them.
Oh yeah, I just don't understand it. Honestly, I don't get it. The asterisks on a season, is it legitimate? Is it this? Mate, I'm lost for words. This is the stupidity of people. I'm sorry, it is. You're telling me it. I'll put it this way: it's a privilege to be a member of society and have sport. If you are not bright enough to understand the impact that not having sport had on society globally in a whole, you must be living your life with blinkers on. I'm as simple as that.
There are so many people out there that view sports as their out, as their
escape,
as their escapism, as their, they're invested that much in that team that when they lose the big game, they cry. When they win the big game, they cry with happiness. Like, you tell me something, an event that happens that you can, a joyous event in terms of sport that can make a grown man cry. Like,
100%.
Yeah, like you've seen it. I've seen a grown man cry. What was it? 4 years ago when Western Bulldogs won the AFL Grand Final.
Yeah,
I seen a grown man cry because he'd never seen his team win a Grand Final, 62-year drought, broken, and seen a grown man cry. Like,
mate,
that's what sport does to people. So
sport's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, that's right. And the fact that people are going on about being an asterisk season, being, it's not a legitimate season, that's rubbish. That's rubbish.
It is rubbish. And
if the players are turning up, it's legitimate.
100%. I can completely agree with you on that. And a lot of the complaints have been, the standard's not great. It's not satisfactory. Or the other thing, it's just so frustrating. It's just, standard's no good. What's the point? This and that. I'll tell you what, you were the people, first of all, to bitch and moan that we weren't going to... I'll use AFL as a really good example because we are based in Australia.
AFL, for anyone out there, is Australian league.
Yeah. So Aussie rules footy, as we call it here. If you don't know what it is, look it up, mate. If you're based in America, your boy Pat McAfee, he's all over it. He's a Collingwood supporter. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
But just look it up. I'll tell you what, the first thing, you'd be able to you'd have the same exact experience as what I had. People, they played 2 rounds. Oh, we shouldn't have had it anyway this season. We knew COVID was out there. We shouldn't have had it anyway. All right, so this is their job. Like you said, it's their job. All right, so we're just going to say you're not going to go and you're not going to play. Because, the AFL is not going to pay the players and not going to play the sport. So you're just saying to all these people who are employees, forget about it. You'll see you're redundant for a year, so you're not going to get paid. That's fine. Second thing is, shouldn't have had it, this and that. Oh, we get it back. Oh, the standard's crap. It's so low scoring. Oh, the scores fluctuate. Blah, blah, blah. This and that. Oh, my. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to lose it. I'll tell you what, you're the first people to complain and bitch and moan about it. But the moment you say, to that person, did you see what happened if they go for that team? Did you see what happened? Oh, yeah, we only lost by 10 points. But you bitch and moan about watching it, but you do watch it. But if you don't watch it, you got the gourd to go out and look up the score anyway and brag about the fact that, my team won. And I feel good about it. Like, it is a privilege, mate. It is a privilege to have sport back.
It is.
Be grateful for what you have, because you saw in the last 3 months what happens when it's taken away from you. Be grateful. How hard is it to be grateful?
Do you want to know what happened? I had to follow the COVID news because I had no sports news to follow, man. And the only sports news I could follow was the Bolivian 3rd Division Soccer League. And hell, I don't want to follow that.
Oh, mate. I'll tell you, I've said it to so many people going into lockdown. I said it to you as well. Like, this lockdown is so much better. It's not good, first of all, but from an individual point of view, for your mental health as a person that loves sport, and just mental health in general, at least we can sit down and watch sport, mate. Like, the AFL is currently on at the moment. They've got their mega fixture that's going to run for 20 days. Back. Right? A-League's back.
Soccer and EPL.
EPL's back. Serie A's got a couple games left before it wraps up. But in saying that, basketball's back. Baseball's come back. Football's going to try and come back. You know what I mean? At least we can sit down during this lockdown for us Melburnians and be like, we got sport this time. And you can cheer on your team and you can talk to your mates about it. We've got the F1s are back. I'm loving life at the moment. Like I said, just be grateful.
Just be grateful. There's no asterisks on the season. We're just going to set this straight. There's no asterisks. That if the players are turning up, the coaches are turning up, they're getting paid, there's a season. Let's just look at it like that. Yeah, this is their job. That's what they get paid to do. It's like you not turning up. It's like you going to your day job, right? And not like, and just saying, I don't even know where to go at this point. At this point, I don't even know where I'm going, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you can't say there's an asterisk on the season. I don't get these people that are saying that. So anyone out there who's saying that, just shut the hell up. Like,
100%. And as we said, we'll leave it on this note. You might think it's an asterisk on the season, but just remember, if there's no season, you wouldn't care about sport. But once this season's done, like we said, 2020, we've had a pandemic, we've had all this stuff. It is going to be the most memorable year, well, to date in your life. Hopefully we don't have any more pandemics and crap and we have to go through this shit again. But you just think about it, it's the most memorable year of your life. You're going to tell your kids, kids. And I'll tell you one thing, no matter what sport, if you're a passionate follower of that sport, you're never going to forget who won the title or a championship.
It's true.
In this year, ever. Regardless of if that's the team you support or the team you do not support, you are going to remember. And you're going to tell your kids, it's going to be like this mythical folklore in 50 years' time. Mate, we had a pandemic, most interrupted season. The athletes in the AFL, they came back and West Coast won a flag. They put all the crap aside, all the and they won a flag. Or LeBron won a flag, all these interruptions. 35 years old, everyone wrote him off. He effectively added another year onto his career by missing so much time. He won a title. You're never going to forget it.
Yeah.
So be grateful. Shut up and enjoy. Just enjoy. Escape. Just enjoy it like us, mate. That's what sport's there for. Enjoy it. The emotional roller coaster, mate. So that's it. I've got to cool down now. Fuck.
Yeah. Have a sip, mate.
Oh,
Have
take
a
some
sip of
water.
water. Cool it down.
Oh, at least we'll move into some lighter note stuff now. Anyway, so we're now gonna go through and take you
Scroll on.
through some sport news around the world. So yeah, we'll just touch on a few things, some big things that may have happened throughout the week, and then yeah. So we'll start with some AFL, as we mentioned. The mega schedule's kicked off. Saucy. It is a massive challenge for the clubs. They're effectively some clubs. I know Collingwood, I think, are playing 3 games in 9 days. So effectively playing 3 rounds of footy in a week and a half. So it could have major implications on the season for certain teams because obviously it's all played interstate. Some teams are going to be playing all their games effectively as a home game. And then also injuries. So your thoughts on that going into such a massive 3 weeks of sport, really, of footy?
Let me just put it out there. Australian rules football is the most demanding sport of any sport on the body.
Oh, and
right?
and we're not being biased because we're based in Australia.
We ain't being biased. This is just what I've seen.
Yeah,
and
it's effectively American football without pads.
Right. So, any of you American people out there that don't comprehend what we're talking about, it's the most difficult sport in the world in terms of what you need to bring as an athlete. You need to be able to take big hits, you need to be able to put repeat efforts, and you need to be able to run 15 to 16 kilometers a day. Right?
And then on top of that, you have to kick goals, hit targets.
Yeah, like there's just so many things that you need to do. How I feel about it, man, let me just tell you right now, the injuries are going to come thick and fast for every team. For every team. This is like, I mean, I'm all for the AFL like trying to get the season done, but damn, this is not going to be good for the players, man. I could see some season-ending injuries to some players. Yeah. I can see some like, good soft tissue injuries that aren't like 4 weekers, but like 6 to 8 weekers. Yeah. There's going to be some calves pulled. Like the injuries are going to come, man. Like it's.
I still think like in talking about obviously like a season. Well, for football, they had the perfect opportunity. They didn't have to. I understand geographically, as a country, we're struggling at the moment. Borders closed, and you can only play in certain areas. But would you have been happy yourself if we said, instead of like condensing all the game and trying to finish the season quickly, we play 17 rounds instead of the conventional 23 rounds? Everyone just plays each other once. We can trial it out. It is an anomaly of a season.
They should have done that and extended the final series. They should have expanded the final series and just play each team once.
Yeah, like, it was the perfect opportunity to do that. You're not going to get an opportunity like this again. And we hope you never do get this opportunity again, for the fact of the matter of there was interruptions. We don't want interruptions again. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity, and I'm with you. I reckon there's going to be a lot of injuries. Like I know, like a couple off the top of my head, Michael Walters twinged the hammy at the end of the game on the weekend that just passed. If I'm Fremantle and you know that there's such a big road coming up with games, I'm resting him. I'm not playing him this week. Yeah. Like, you're not going to take that risk. You've got Fife coming back this week from a hammy. It would not surprise me if Fife plays this week and then he sits out. I think Freo might have the bye. But it wouldn't surprise me if he plays this week and then he doesn't play for 2 weeks. Obviously, he misses the bye with 1 game. But he misses 2 games to get right again. The player management, it's going to be a monumental task for football clubs. It's going to be unbelievable.
The player management side of things is going to be unreal. Like, I mean, this is where your fitness coaches and all those sort of people are really going to earn their money. Fitness coaches, recovery coaches, physios, and all that. They're pivotal to all this. Like, I mean, it's going to be. Teams are going to be reluctant to put that player out the next week because they don't know, if someone's a bit sore, maybe in a normal season where the games aren't all condensed and you are playing a game every I think they're playing games every 5 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Each team.
No, it's each team. Yeah, I think it's each team.
So like there's a game every day, but each team's playing a game like every 5 days. So a 5-day break is considered, short.
That's
turnaround.
way short. Like,
Way short.
6-day breaks from a Sunday to a 5 days. Sometimes they play
Sometimes
Sunday
they do play, right?
Friday.
They try to give them at least 6 days, but I just can't see any other way than there being injuries. Like it's going to happen. There's always injuries regardless. I just think there's going to be more injuries and a lot of soft tissue ones, man. I guess that's why they bought extended, lists to manage these sort of things. And I think this is where it's going to be where the team that's going to come out of this at the other end is the team that actually has the best list, not the best, 22 players. Because, there's
100%.
a good chance that you're not going to be able to get your best 22 on the ground every single game. You're going to be, with going 8, 10 deep into your reserves to get the rotation of players and make sure that everyone's fit for the following week. It's going to be a difficult one, but at the same time, I'm excited, man. Like we're getting AFL,
very excited.
We're getting AFL every day for 33 days. Is that right? No, 20 days.
Mate, I was having a look.
AFL every day for 20 days. Like that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
like,
you're an Essendon supporter.
Nothing's ever happened in this like this ever before.
I mean, I was looking at the fixture. I don't know if you've looked at Essendon's fixture because you go for Essendon yourself, but I go for North Melbourne. We're playing next Wednesday. So, sorry, next Wednesday, a week from now, we're playing at 5:10 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. When the hell has there ever, has there been a footy game at 5:10 in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Ever. Like, you finish your working day at 5, you literally wrap yourself up, you sit on the couch, 10 minutes after
people working at home, you're laughing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you got the footy on. It's a year of the first, mate. It's going to be massive. So,
regardless, we're still happy to have the season, but I just think it's important for the clubs, especially the clubs that want to succeed this season, to manage their players, and just get them through this period where they've jammed all the games in, so they can catch up with the schedule. And then after that, let's hope it's smooth sailing from there, and let's hope that things can get under control a little bit around our parts in terms of Melbourne and Sydney and stuff, so that things can get back to a little bit of normality.
100%. Couldn't agree more, mate. All right, we'll move on to some F1 news.
Lead the way, Domma. You're the F1 man. All I know is Dan Ricciardo. What's he transferred over? The Aussies transferred over to McLaren, right? No. Yeah,
so he's driving for Renault this season. Next season, he'll be at McLaren with Lando Norris, which is actually my boy. So I froth Lando, which is good. So my favourite driver is going to be driving with my second favourite driver, which is an Aussie. So I'm very happy about that. But just a bit of an update on the schedule, because they released 3 more races, Formula One. So this Sunday coming, there's the British Grand Prix, followed by the 70th British Grand Prix. So they're doing a back-to-back. This is 3 weeks consecutively. Then the Spanish is the 3rd week. So 3 weeks in a row, Spanish Grand Prix. Then they're going to have a week off. Then it goes into another 3-week block, 3 weekends. So then we've got the Belgian GP on the 30th of August, Italian GP on the 6th, the Tuscan GP, which is also in Italy, on the 13th. Then they're going for another week break. Then they're going for another 3-week block. I'm loving life. Oh, no. I'm having a look here. Oh, no, 2-week block here. Oh, I got a bit excited. I thought it was about a 4-week block. I was about to jump out of my seat. It's a fortnight block. So they're going to have the Russian GP on the 27th of September. And then, it's a 2-week layover there. It's a bit shit. On the 11th is the German GP, 25th Portuguese, and November 1st, Imola GP in Italy. So the German, the Portuguese, and the Italian, the last one there, were all added on. Europe's in a better situation globally. I know they started off terribly with the coronavirus, but they've worked it out. I don't know if you haven't watched an F1 race, a credit to them, the way they're running the whole entire the organization from the top down through all the teams, all the constructors teams to the drivers. It's been fantastic. All masks are worn. Anyone in the pit crew, there's just a mask on everyone. Fantastic how they're doing it. At the end of races, they've actually got like a mini show bag. So they have it like the podium tables for first, second, and third. Each driver has their helmet stand. They go put their helmet on. And then there's like a little show bag set up by their own team, which has got a team mask in it, whether it's their colors. If it's Ferrari, it's red. McLaren, it's orange. They've got a towelette so they can wipe down their sweat. Then it goes straight back into the bag. Sanitizer. They're all over it. Interviews are the same as most sports. Mask on, distance away from the reporter. Yeah. It's just great how they're doing it. It's just a great show to put on in such a trying and like modified version.
Testament to the F1 organization.
Really. 100%. So they've done a great job.
They've been able to make this happen, and they truly are a global sport where they have to move around to different countries on the regular. So, they're battling, not only they're battling travel, they're battling this, pandemic and making it happen. Once again, as sports fans, I'm not the biggest F1 fan, but I will sit down and watch the F1. We're thankful that they're making it happen at the end of the day.
100%. In some other stuff there as well, like we did announce 3 new races onto that schedule. They actually cancelled three races completely. So they got rid of the United States Grand Prix is gone, Brazilian Grand Prix is gone, and I'm pretty sure the Chinese Grand Prix is gone. Obviously, China probably doesn't want any risk of it coming back into the country, and America and Brazil is shocking at the moment for their spread, and even the same as America. So it's good that they've got some races in there, and they've done a great job, like you said. A good testament to the organisation. Just an update as well on the World Championship standings. Hamilton is first, no surprise there in the Mercedes. Surprise. Followed by Bottas, his teammate in a Mercedes. So 63 and 58, he's 5 ahead. Then from third to first, he's 30 points ahead of Max Verstappen of the Red Bull Racing Team. Lando Norris in 4th with 26, Albon for Red Bull 22, Perez for Racing Point on 22, Leclerc for Ferrari 18, Stroll Racing Point 18, Sainz McLaren 15, and Vettel for Ferrari on 9th. Just before I wrap up on the F1, bit interesting news came out of the Ferrari camp. They don't reckon that they're going to be competitive till 2022. So I don't know what I'm doing with my other boy that I love, Leclerc. I'm just going to have to sit back and watch him struggle for a couple of years, I guess. So, that's it.
What's happened to Ferrari? They used to be a powerhouse.
Oh, mate, I don't know.
They used to be an absolute powerhouse.
They've just, I don't know. They dropped the ball. They were good towards the end of last season. I don't know what's happened this year. Like, the engine just isn't right. I don't know their setup. I don't know what's happening there, mate.
I've heard word that they're doing modifications, like everyone's going to have some sort of similar engine.
Yeah, so next year's like a kind of like an equalization for the teams. It's kind of like a salary cap for every team.
Okay.
They keep it more competitive, and it just worries me at the fact that Ferrari, like you said, the powerhouse, mate.
Surely for salary cap, Ferrari should have the most money, mate.
No. Even if with the cap, you should think with their technology, they should be good enough within the parameters of money.
That's right.
But Mercedes are too good. They'll be dominant again next year. Mercedes make some of the best engines in the world for their AMG cars and stuff, and that's just literally getting put into a F1 car just on an extremely high level, and it's just the performance is ridiculous, and that's why they'll keep winning. And not for anything, the driver does make a difference. There's a lot to driving than just your car. As much as everyone thinks he's got the best car, he'll win. Hamilton's a great driver. So I'll touch on Hamilton in a
we'll talk about him in a few weeks.
Because he's coming up. He's coming up to a few Michael Schumacher records that he's going to potentially.
He's chasing him and he's going to surpass them. Don't worry about that.
100%.
He's like, like we remember Schumacher as we were growing up. 10, 11, 12, we just seen Schumacher win race after race after race. Hamilton's like that, the Schumacher of this generation, where you just see him winning race after race after race. And how many titles has he won? He's won like
I should know the answer.
I don't even know the answer, but I just know there's a lot.
The good thing is, mate, I'll get that. We'll move on to the EPL news. If you kick that off, I'll get that.
Let's move on to sort of a bit of football coverage, aka soccer. As we all know, EPL, Liverpool won the title, dominated the league. Wasn't even a contest this season. I chucked up on the socials a little question. Is Klopp the best manager? So some would think at this point in time, over the last 18 months, Klopp is the best manager. He's won a Champions League, he's won a Premier League, and they're still in the Champions League, correct? So
yeah, they're still in.
Yeah, so they could still win another Champions League, and that potentially he's won 2 Champions Leagues and a Premier League in 18 months, 18 months, 2 years. He's the best coach at the moment. He's the most successful. 100%. And just the way his team plays is just unbelievable.
Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this as a Manchester United supporter, and I absolutely hate Liverpool with a passion. But my God, what a squad! But they've done a phenomenal effort. Mate, the turnaround.
Yeah, great. That's right. It didn't happen overnight. They bought in Klopp, and as an Arsenal fan, I'm a bit salty about this because there was words that they wanted to get him, and typical Arsenal board wasn't ready to move on for Arsene Wenger, but then 12 months later they were happy to move on. Why didn't they get rid of him 12 months earlier and get Klopp? I don't know. Well done to Liverpool for paying the man.
100%.
As one of the top 3 best managers in the world. And as you can see, he's brought the success. He bought the players. He found the young talent. He found the Alexander-Arnold. He found the Robertson on the left. He brought in Salah. He brought in Mane. Who else did he bring? He got rid of Coutinho, had to make the hard call. Got the money, then use that money to get Van Dijk. Right?
Wow.
So he brought in the players. You can't say that what Klopp has done overall as a manager, and that goes from him getting there the first day to now to this point where his team's won 2 titles. It's been unbelievable. Not unbelievable, but believable to the point where Klopp's a gun. I put a lot of this on his shoulders, and
it's a culture thing as well that he brought from Dortmund.
That's right,
mate. His team at Dortmund was young, and
took them to Champions League finals.
Mate. Exactly,
Champions League finals.
They couldn't get over the hump and beat Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich's Bayern Munich.
That's right. They couldn't get over the hump and beat them in the league.
Yeah. So did he take them to Dortmund to places and then he's inherited a bit more experience and he's brought in experience and then he's got youth there, like you said.
But unfortunately for Dortmund, he had to move on because he was in a predicament at Dortmund where whenever he'd get a good player or scout a good player, it would just get bought by Bayern Munich. So there's no chance for him to succeed to that next level because Bayern Munich would just buy his best players.
Yeah.
Right? Because Bayern Munich still owns Dortmund because Dortmund was in financial troubles. I think this is how the history goes. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is how it goes. And that's why you always see Bayern buying Dortmund's players. So that's why Klopp had to move on, and he moved on to the next stage. And, we've seen what he can do when he's got the backing of a club, when he's got the backing of his players, and his game plan is, it holds up against the best in the world. And that's just facts.
It is.
I mean, well done to Jamie Vardy for winning the Golden Boot, though.
Yeah, great form by him.
Very good effort by Jamie Vardy. Everyone forgot about this man who absolutely dominated 3 seasons ago when Leicester won the title, and he's come back to some of his best form this season, which we all know he's capable of. And let's hope for England he can keep going and lead on to the next Euros and World Cups, because I think he could be a pivotal player for them going forward.
If you don't know his story, I can't recall it verbatim right now, but just go up and read up on it, mate. He was literally
Oh,
down
yeah.
in the gutters, mate.
I mean,
What
he's
he
going to write an
how he
autobiography one day, and,
Oh.
and it's definitely going to be a must read, man. From a fourth division league football player to Premier League top goal scorer twice plus Premier League champion. You tell me that ain't a story. Like,
Yeah, it's commitment right
it's
there.
commitment, and man, testament to the man. Like, Vardy he's shown that he's top class once again.
100%. And we'll move on. Like De Bruyne won EPL Playmaker.
Yeah,
Klopp was coach of the season, clearly.
yeah.
And then the Golden Glove went to Edison. Also, we had some resulting games that changed a few things. Manchester United beating Leicester moved them to third. So United back playing Champions League football. I'm very happy about that. Chelsea finished fourth after beating Wolverhampton, and Leicester fifth. Not the best situation for Leicester, but they will play Europa League football. It's better than playing no European football. So,
Don't worry, I'm all too familiar at the moment. There's Arsenal who do too well this season. Nice eighth. Maybe we can actually focus on one league next year and do well in it instead of what's happened over the last 5 years where we're always in Champions League, Europa League, and we can't do nothing in any of it.
Would you be surprised if I said to you it's probably not likely going to happen?
Not at all. Not at
We'll
all.
shift to us.
Let me just say this: when we still got Mustafi and David Luiz at centre back, we ain't going anywhere. Let me just put that out there. We ain't going anywhere. All right, David washed up Luiz. Let me just put that out there. David washed up Luiz. He sucks. He's been kicked out of how many big clubs because he sucks. We need to kick him out as well.
I heard that Per Mertesacker is coming back to play centre back for you next season.
Might as well put him up as striker.
Get Lord Bentner back. Oh, mate. We'll move on to some Serie A news. Juventus took out their 36th Scudetto title, 9th in a row. They are the most winningest club in the Serie A.
Most successful.
Yep. And most successful. They are double, while they are the combined total of titles of AC Milan and Inter Milan. So they've won 18 each, and they are sitting second and third, respectively. That is unbelievable stuff. We'll touch on this a bit further on, in a future podcast, Saucy, but, my boy, Ronaldo, I fell in love with him.
You love him from his United days.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, I still remember early primary school days. I think I was probably in about year 5. My grandfather, he said to me, old Italian man, he stayed up. This is when VHS recording for the games, mate. I don't know if your kids even know what a VHS is anymore, but he recorded. He's a Chelsea supporter, and this man went out of his way to record Chelsea games just so he could watch Ronaldo play. That says something, man. He's
recorded Man United games.
No, he recorded Chelsea games so he could watch Man United live. Like, that's what I'm saying. Ronaldo. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't even watch his own team. He wouldn't even watch his own team. Just so he could watch Ronaldo. Anyway, he said to me, Dom, you got to watch this man. Anyway, I'm in love with him. You might think I'm a bit biased, but as we say on this show, we've got the facts. So that's all that matters. Got the facts. I'm going to read a few.
Double coverage. We've got the facts. We bring the heat.
Listen to this. If you listen to this, I know we're starting up. We might not have many people listening, but if you go back and you listen to this as our first podcast, and you hear this stuff, and if you want to in the future in a future podcast or down the track, even just tweet us or DM us or give your opinion, I'm happy to debate you on it, mate. I'm happy to bring it back to a future podcast and debate. But listen to this: Ronaldo this season has become.
Here we go. Bring it to me, Domma.
First Juve player to score 25 league goals in 60 years. Number 1. Number 2, first player to score 50-plus goals in Serie A, La Liga, and the EPL. Just wait on it. I've still got a couple more. You might think, we're finished there. No. He is now the highest Portuguese scorer in Serie A, La Liga, and the EPL. No, I got another one.
Gets
He's
better.
he's only one of 4 men to score 30 goals in the Serie A since 1958.
Right. That's not bad. Have you got the other members of that list?
I do not have that. The other members, but
Well,
it
make
doesn't
note
matter.
there. Write that down. We're going to get that. We're going to get that info.
All right.
Jot that down. We'll get that info. We'll bring it back to the people. We'll put it up on our
Yeah, we will.
socials. Say the list,
We will.
the illustrious list that he sits with.
And this is my favorite one. All right. Just remember what Serie A are most notorious for in its history as a league: defense. Listen to this one. Fastest player ever to score 50 Serie A goals. Shevchenko, and we know how good Andrei Shevchenko is.
He was a gun back in the day.
He was the fastest. I think he did it in 76 games. He beat him by 6 games. And guess
70
what?
games.
Yeah, and guess what? I'll tell you another funny thing. There's still 2 games left in the friggin' season. Who is this person? He's not even real. Anyway, that's
He's the epitome of Benjamin Button, isn't he?
oh,
He gets better as he gets older.
It's literally watching LeBron in the soccer form and watching the soccer form in the basketball form. The older they get, the better they're becoming. It makes no sense. They should be finished by now, surely. On the decline. No.
Yeah.
Freak. Absolutely. I love it. Mate.
Bang.
Nothing more to say about the man.
There's the facts.
Nothing more. He just blows me away every time, that man. He's just a freak. So we also had some transfer news. So some interesting stuff talking about Liverpool. Lallana and Lovren both have departed the club. So Lallana went to Brighton and Lovren went to Zenit St. Petersburg. So you would have thought with 2 players leaving, they might try and get some players in. So bit of a watch this space there as well.
Yeah. They're going to need to get some players in.
Might just be some role player guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they need to flip the squad up too much.
No.
You know, you've done well in the last 18 months. You'll just get a couple of fill players. I'm sure Klopp is a very, very smart manager. He would have had his eye on a couple of young guys. You know,
100%.
some guy. You know, he's spent the big money over the last 12 months. He's probably got his eye on a few guys that are round about that. I reckon 30 to 50 mil, not too much, but just going to be a nice addition to the bench and just bolster the squad. Real Madrid, La Liga, got the win. Was it 38 games played?
38 games, massive stuff.
Dang, that's huge, man. Like
I think
Ronaldo leaving,
you
would have thought maybe potentially, how they're going to bounce back. Hazard's moved over.
The funny thing about Hazard is he actually came out and said, he said it, and he just verified the fact of everything that everyone watching him was thinking. So he actually said he reckons he played the worst season of his career. Yeah. And they still won the title. And I'm not going to disagree with that. What's that say? Like everyone says, they got the players, they got this. And I'll tell you one thing, we're talking about coaches. Zinedine Zidane, I know he won 3 Champions Leagues, and everyone said, he just inherited a team. He hasn't got Ronaldo anymore. Everyone said, Ronaldo won him this, Ronaldo won him that. Titles, like league titles, not champion. He hasn't proven that yet without Ronaldo, the Champions League stuff, but league titles too. Maybe the guy can coach. Put some respect on his name. I don't know.
I mean, he's one of the all-time greats. He did deliver one of the best headbutts of all time in the World Cup.
And it wasn't even for goal.
Talk about a brain snack.
Lost his marbles. But what a man. He's actually my favourite player.
I'm just having a gaze at their squad. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing here that says, that they can't do it again next season.
No. But the thing as well about managers. And
one thing I will give it is Benzema did step up this season with 21 goals. That's key. Yeah. That is key. They've got
cultures are massive though, Sauce, and you know that. So it's like if you've got gun players in your team with egos, it can be a lot harder to coach a team with those types of players than a Leicester City.
You know
for
what?
Example.
I think Zidane's the man for that because
I reckon he is too. I reckon he had a bit
You're
of.
speaking to a man that's done everything, that's
He's
accomplished
done it all.
everything. He's done it
Yeah.
all. Like
He's a
as a
beast.
player, he would have their respect as a player. You know what I mean? Like he's on their when he's playing days, he's on their level. Better. You know, he's one of the top 10 players to ever walk the planet.
Oh, he's better.
Anyone who wants to dispute that, like, I mean, we can come up with a top 10 list for all
We'll
you
do it.
guys.
We'll
We'll
do
come
it.
up with one in the future. Like, I mean, we
We'll
might
do
be
it.
biased to what players that we've seen over our
Oh, we'll
lifetime,
do it.
but we're gonna, you know, we might get some more opinion on some people who have watched some of the
Yeah.
players before our time. But you can't argue
100%
that
we'll do
he's in that frame. He's in that, you know, he's in that space, that top 10. And when you've got that aura about you, you know, those players want to give you respect. You know, you've done it all. So to them, they're like, oh, I'm going to listen to this guy. Like he's really done it all. I mean, the only one who's having trouble is Gareth Bale, but like he's still there.
He's got.
And he can't complain.
Anyway,
He's got another championship. So
he just sits on the bench and gets paid. And
he played 16 games this season. He scored 2 goals.
In all honesty, he's wasted his career sitting around.
Yeah, I mean, he should have stayed in the Premier League, man.
I know United inquired about him for a few seasons now, wanting him to come play, and he's happy. He's content where he is. He doesn't want to leave, but mate, when he plays, he's a pleasure to watch. So I'd prefer to put on a show for your fans and for the supporters around the globe and sit on a bench and fall asleep like we saw bloody a couple of weeks ago, putting the mask over his face and being idiots.
What an absolute lemon. Absolute lemon.
That's what I would
And
prefer.
we'll just quickly touch Bundesliga. Like Bayern's won that again, so there's no surprise there. What they've won it 5 years in a row or something like that. It's just that league's really, you know, it's Bayern's to lose every year pretty much. So
pretty much, no, it is.
Yeah, we would go more in depth on it if there was to go more in depth on, but like, you know, Bayern had such a bad start to the season. They sacked their coach and then they turned around and won the league. By 13 points? Just a lazy 4 games. It's a lazy four games. Piece of piss.
And then we'll just touch on your mate getting injured, or Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
I know you put some stuff out on the socials about Atalanta today. I'll tell you that if he doesn't play, sneaky chance for Atalanta.
Like, I mean, the Champions League's coming up. We'll do a little preview in a pod to come, talking about, you know, Champions League and reviewing it and stuff.
Yeah, so that's back on the 7th of August, the Champions League. So
yeah, that's what I was just looking up right there. So
7th of August for that, and then Premier League is starting again on the 12th of September, which is awesome. So less than 50 days from when it finishes, it's back. So
7th of August?
It'll be great. 7th of August, I think, Champions League.
Let me have a gaze here.
I think next Thursday.
Oh, yeah, I've got here 14th.
Oh, maybe they pushed it. Maybe I'm wrong. There's a first
13th.
for everything.
I've got here 13th. Atalanta, PSG.
Okay.
This is coming from soccerway.com, so unless soccerway.com is wrong.
Yeah. They're not wrong. And
then
the last thing. Oh, there you go. And then the last thing was the Ballon d'Or being cancelled as well, which was massive. So they won't be crowning a definitive best player in the world for 2020, which a lot of people saying that Robert Lewandowski from Bayern would have been tipped to win it. So unfortunate for him.
I mean, that's a bit stiff.
Yeah, it is stiff. It may have been his only chance of winning it ever. You don't know. He played some rare. He's a gun player, but he played out of his skin this season. So he's just unlucky, I guess. So I don't know. So that wraps up our sport news around the world, mate. I know we've been gone for a while. I know that a lot of people will be anticipating Sauceys Smokey coming up towards the end of the show, but we will quickly get through our NBA restart review. So we'll touch on that. We'll try and get through it as quick as possible because we don't want to go for 4 hours, as much as we'd love to talk sport for 4 hours. But we'll go through each team. A couple of them are the bye, so we don't need to spend much time on them.
You just run it from top to bottom, and I'll just give you my truthful opinion on some of these things.
Oh, we'll start with the East then. All right, we'll get straight into it. We'll start with the East. So we'll go in alphabetical order. You're lucky Boston's first, so we can have a bit of a discussion. One thing, take note, Kemba Walker day-to-day with his knee.
Right.
I'll give you the schedule as well, and so you can give a bit of your opinion on it. So they got Milwaukee, Portland, Miami, Brooklyn, Toronto, Orlando, Memphis, Washington is their 8-game lineup. So third in the East, they're looking very good.
Yeah, they're looking good. Like, I mean, I didn't think much of Boston at the start of the season, and I think a lot of people didn't. You know, when they were having a bit of troubles, a bit of continuity issues, but you know, they put it together and then they made a nice run. And Tatum really showed that he was bringing his game to the next level. And all that work he was putting in the off season was really paying off. Was sort of doubting where he was at and where he was going in his career. But let me just tell you, the sports card hobby ain't doubting where he's going in his career, because his cards have gone absolutely bananas. Absolutely bananas. Like, I mean, they've gone up like ridiculous amounts. But, you know, I think a lot of that team, you know, it weighs on, I wouldn't say it weighs all on Tatum's shoulders, but I think he's going to shoulder quite a bit of responsibility. You've got a few other good players around there. But I just think for Boston to take that next step and get to the Eastern Conference Finals again and potentially get to the finals, it's going to be how well their role players step up. Like, it's going to be how well the Jaylen Brown steps up. Because it seems as though Tatum's being considered in Boston as the man, right? He's getting the most touches of the ball, you know, most shots. They like to play through him. He's improved his playmaking a hell of a lot. Let me just tell you, his playmaking's improved a heap of a lot. He's also not settling for as many jumpers. He really likes to try get to the rim, especially early on in a game, which is like pivotal to like a successful game. When you see some of the best players, they'll really try get their rhythm going early, getting to the rim, getting to the line, you know, getting touches of the ball early, seeing the ball go through the net. And then once that happens, you just see the flow-on effect of, seeing the ball go in the basket. It's such a, cliche thing to say, but you see it happen so many times in basketball. Player, struggling, can't hit a shot, comes out of the game, goes back into the game, different mindset. He's not taking the jump shot, decides he's going to get to the rack, gets a tough layup. The next time down, gets down, draws the foul, sees the ball go through the net. Then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, he scored 10 points in 5 minutes. He's absolutely hot. So, I think it's going to be how the role players step up, and that's finals basketball, that's playoff basketball. You need your role players, but I'm interested to see where Tatum's at. We've seen he can do it in his rookie year, that he can be the man. So, I mean, there's no doubt that he should have more confidence in his ability now in his third season and what he's done this season up to this point. So I'll just be interested to see how they go through, and I'll just be interested to see how Boston fares, man. Like, I mean,
Brad Stevens runs a good system down there.
He runs a good system. It seems like it's working better. I think it was better to get Kyrie out the door, and the team that they've got 100%. Now seems to be working a hell of a lot better. The chemistry seems a lot better. I like. I don't mind Boston. I don't look too much into these schedules, especially with those higher ranked teams, because at the end of the day, and as I've said earlier in the take, they're in a bubble. There's no real home court or away court. They're in a bubble. Everyone's got the same advantage or disadvantage. You play. There's no crowd. There's no home and away crowd. So the way I look at the seeds, I'm not going to look too much into that sort of business. Like, I mean, it might affect them in terms of being able to get out of the first round and second round. Yeah. But at the end of the day, to be the best, you got to beat the best.
100%. And a lot of these teams like Milwaukee, Toronto, and Boston in the East, and then Los Angeles, so Lakers, Clippers, and Nuggets in the West. I know it's closer in the West, but they're more just like it's just getting their team right and their system right.
Yeah,
coming back.
It's literally
to the
just
restart.
match fitness. Like
It is. It really
more
is.
about running the plays and potentially they might test a few things and give those bench players a few more minutes and just see who's ready to take their moment.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
I wouldn't read too much into those top seeds. Like I mean, some of the games where the Lakers towards the end, like I think they'll just try and win their first 2 or 3, so they 100% secure a top spot.
Yeah.
And then from there, I can't see LeBron playing too many minutes and AD playing too many minutes. They'll just rest up.
They want him cherry.
And same with Bucks. Like I mean, I wouldn't expect Giannis to play a heap of minutes, but I wouldn't expect him to sit out the whole game. Like maybe 20 minutes of the game or something like that, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But he'll get out.
Well, you mentioned Kyrie before. We'll move on to his new team that he's not a part of at the moment in the bubble. I don't think you're going to have much to say about the Brooklyn Nets, are you, Sauce? Or do you have...
Brooklyn Nets, until KD steps on that team, are absolutely not worth my breath talking about. Let's just move on.
So we're going to Indiana. They did lose Domantas Sabonis. He's left the bubble.
Plantar fascia. He'll be out for the rest of the season. Back next season. That's a big loss.
So they lost him and they got Depot back. Victor.
They got Depot back, but I've heard talks that does Depot want to come back? Will he potentially maybe not play because there's really no chance of them actually getting anywhere? Like I mean, if you have
you've lost a 20 and 10 guy in Sabonis.
You've lost your best player of the season.
And he can play, and he plays defense.
Yeah, you've lost your best player of the season.
He's
right?
genuinely a gun.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of improvement in Domantas Sabonis. Like I mean,
100%.
I know of someone who I speak to on Instagram regularly was actually buying quite a few of his cards in preparation for him to potentially have a good game within the playoffs or do something well and see his card prices go up. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because he's got injured. Yeah. But the guy is only 21, stand to be corrected, 21, 22. So he is young, 20 and 10, putting up 20 and 10 stat line. Still doesn't shoot the 3, but doesn't have the ugliest jump shot. And I can definitely see in the next 2 to 3 seasons him definitely developing a corner 3 because he can take that mid-range shot and his jumper looks quite nice. Lefty, bit different. Like, I mean, I think he's one to watch going forward in terms of the big man.
Before the injury, he averaged 18.5 and 12.4 boards. So he's had a gradual from his rookie season. It's his 4th season. He averaged 6 when he started. He's 11.5, 14.1, and 18.5. So gradually getting better.
Yeah, that's all you can ask, man.
He's only 23. So he's only 23. So
there you go.
Watch this space on him.
He's still definitely got another 10 years in the league, man. And if he develops 100%. That 3-point shot, he's going to be in the league for a while to come. So I wouldn't worry about Pacers fans. I'd just worry about getting him back and trying to push towards next season, because if you do okay, that East isn't that
the
packed.
East is open.
The East is open.
He can play playoffs for the rest of his career.
Yeah, you can play. That's right. You can definitely play playoffs for the next season to come. And once you're in the playoffs, you don't know what happens, especially if you've got a healthy roster. So,
exactly
all right, let's move on.
So we'll move on to my boys, the Heat, with my mate Jimmy Buckets.
Jimmy Buckets, baby.
We love Jimmy Buckets here. He is a favorite, and the big Bam Adebayo as well. We love him. So, yeah,
give us your thought on your team. What's your honest opinion, and I'll give you what I feel.
Honestly, it's practically a role-playing team. Really, it is. It's a solid squad. They're playing to Spoelstra's system. They have role players that do their job exceptionally well. That's pretty much the team. The team is practically revolves around Buckets and obviously Bam, who's taken leaps and bounds this season. as the center.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dragic coming off the bench.
Let me just tell you, there's people high on him in the
helps.
hobby.
Yeah, 100%. I can
They
see
love
why.
Bam Adebayo.
I can see why. He's a gun. He's an absolute gun. But I'll tell you what, one thing about the Heat, which is severely it's severely underrated because maybe the stats don't show it, but there's a lot of shooters in this team. A lot of shooters.
You got
They
Duncan
come off the
Robinson,
bench.
you got Tyler Hero, you got Nunn. He's taking threes.
Myers Leonard's been injured. But hopefully
yeah, but Leonard, you got that stretch. Jimmy Buckets can hit the three.
Iguodala can hit the three. Jay Crowder can hit the three. I don't know why Haslam's still on the team. He's just there for moral support. But
He's coach.
Well, the only chance the Heat have of winning absolutely anything is if Kelly Olynyk gets on the floor and pulls a couple shoulders out of some sockets every single game. That is the only chance.
Oh, man.
The man costed LeBron a title. Maybe it can cost the rest of the league a title. Anyway, we'll move on. Miami, we got a pretty...
No, I mean, to me, they're my smoke in the East, man. I can see them, causing an upset. Can I see them winning the title? I'm not so sure. That's just got more down to do with just the inexperience and
yeah.
The playoffs, in the playoffs, whether you like it or not, teams play harder, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
First of all,
the whistle gets
put away. There's less ticky-touch fouls, and you just got to show you just got to have that wit and will and just play through contact and
100%.
I mean, you don't know how you've got a lot of first-year players on there. Duncan Robinson, Nunn. I mean, albeit they're older, but that is their rookie season.
100%.
Tyler Hero, and so I mean, I just don't know how they're going to fare, but I could see them getting out of the first round. I mean, who they predicted to take on the first round? What the Pacers?
Indiana. Yeah.
Pacers. I can definitely see.
But yeah, potentially they're only 2 games behind Boston and 5 behind Toronto.
So they've actually got something to play. So we don't really know. So
but
I can definitely see them beating the Pacers. It'll be an interesting matchup if somehow they're versing the Philly. They're versing Philadelphia.
If I'm a Heat man, I'd rather verse Indy. I don't want to be playing, like we said, our dark horse, mate. I don't want them playing Philly.
Of course, you want to play Indy. They've just lost Sabonis. They're 20-10.
Exactly.
Big man of best big man of the year on the year. Yeah.
And Big Bam is going to hopefully go to work. Anyway, we'll move on. We've got the Bucks. Well, touted to be the favorite to win the East.
Yeah.
And second favorite probably to win the title, or third favorite behind Lakers or Clippers or whichever way you want to do it.
I mean,
so
whatever order you want to put it in, like people have been talking about those 3 teams all season. Yeah. They're the top 3. They're the popular picks that everyone puts.
Yeah.
The punters, they like that one. They like those 3.
Your boy, Big Dante DiVincenzo, your mate. You love him.
Don't sleep on DiVincenzo, all right? All you out there, I've been buying Dante DiVincenzo cards.
Save it. It could be
for a while. It's not a Smokey because I was buying Prism Silvers for $10 and $15. Now they're freaking $50, $60. All right, it's not a Smokey anymore. It's a Smokey when they're $10 and $15.
I laughed at you, and I've since apologized for laughing at you, and I may have, hung a lot of shit on you for buying Dante. I did. You made me eat my words. I'm
telling you, he's going to be their starting point guard next year. He's going to be their starting point guard next year. He's better than Bledsoe. Anyone out there who wants to dispute that, come dispute it with me. He's better than Bledsoe.
You heard it here first. Bring him up. The only thing I'm going to say about Milwaukee, I'll just touch on it, is Chris Middleton. He is Giannis's number 2.
Yeah.
That's his Robin.
Yeah.
I got concerns him saying he didn't touch a ball for 3 months, first of all. That's the first thing I have concerns about. Second of all, he's shown that he's been paid a lot of money. But can he, talk the talk?
Is he a true second, Domma?
No, he's not.
Honestly, the spotlight's been put on him a few times.
In my opinion,
he hasn't delivered.
he's an awesome third. If he was a 3 in a team, like if you got, we'll put it this way, there was talks like Middleton was going to go to the Lakers. If he was playing 3, as we like to say, well, I'm going to be, I'm not going to even say it because I don't want to be politically correct. You got Batman, Robin, and we'll just say, I don't know, Alfred. I'm going to call him Alfred for the sake of not, I don't want to be sexist. But yeah, so he'd be an Alfred. He'd be an Alfred in that.
First pod, and we're already worried about this rubbish. Jeez, the world.
All right, so he's Batgirl. He's Batgirl. I'll just say it. Fuck it. So you got, if there was a Batman, Robin, and a Batgirl, he'd be Batgirl in that team, like in a Lakers team, and he'd be able to really, really push. Honestly, if the Lakers had Chris Middleton, I reckon I'd boost their percentage on winning the title. You know what I mean? If they had him, I don't know.
Right, let's just out of 15 games last season in the playoffs, he scored 20 points only 5 times. There was a few games. I'm looking at stats right here.
That's
playoffs last year. Playoffs last year, right?
He had that big game. He shot 44. I'm pretty sure he shot a 40
No,
in the game.
his highest was 30 points.
Oh, 30. Well, there you go.
His highest was 30 points against Toronto. When they got what did they get swept against Toronto? No, they didn't get swept. 6 games. They won the first 2 at home, and
then shot 40.
Then they struggled.
Maybe that was. Yeah.
He shot 30 points. That was his biggest game of the playoffs last year. In what was that game? It's that game 4 against Toronto.
Oh, so
it was
a big game, but
yeah, it was a big game. But like, I mean, other than that, what game did he turn up to? He didn't turn up. Like all the whole series against Toronto, the whole series, right? I'm gonna give you his points total for that whole series. 11 points, 12 points. That's in their wins, right? 9, 30, 6, 14.
All right,
that's
give me Giannis's stats. This is where this is the discrepancy. This is where we see it. This is honestly, like we say, the facts. This is the facts. This is what we're trying to say. He's not a 2. He's a 3.
Yeah.
He's a 3. He's like a Chris Bosh in a great team. And in saying that, Chris Bosh is still 10 times better than him. So
yeah. Chris Bosh, Hall of Famer.
We're going to talk about Chris Bosh. We'll dedicate a segment to that man.
All right, let me just go on here, right? Giannis, like he had one real bad game against Toronto, but
yeah, he got destroyed by Kawhi.
Yeah, he got destroyed, but his games against Toronto was 24 points, 30 points. That was in their wins. Third game got annihilated, only scored 12 points,
killed.
but then 25 points, 24 points, and 21 points, right?
But those are the games. Those games where he is shooting 12 points are the games where your number 2 takes the load and he puts up the 30 points.
Yeah, but not even that. He did.
You know,
Chris Middleton in that game. I think that's the game.
That game.
He shot 30. Is it?
Oh,
no, it wasn't that game. In that game, no, it wasn't. It wasn't in that game. I stand to be correct. In that game where he shot 12, Chris Middleton stepped up with an amazing 9 points.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move on because I think we've just.
I mean, that's where the issue lies within this. And I've always said, any playoff run, go back. I don't care what you say. LeBron doesn't win that championship without that big shot from Ray Allen to save him. MJ, anyone watch the Last Dance? Steve Kerr had the big shot to save him. Like,
mate,
right? Every great player needs their role players, and 100%. That's just facts, right? Can Chris Middleton be that second? No. I think the Bucks overall have the role players around that, the bench and everything, but it's Chris Middleton, man. Like, if he's supposed to be your second, he's supposed to be when Giannis is getting some rest, Chris Middleton's there and handling the load. The other team goes on a bit of a run, instead of having to call a timeout, Chris Middleton needs to go down the other end and get a bucket. Yeah? So they don't have to waste the timeout. Like, these are the things that your second man needs to be able to do. Can he do it? He hasn't proven he can. So, I mean, that's where the problem lies for me with the Bucks. And that's why I'm saying it's open, man. It's open. Like,
It is open.
I don't think you're going to shut down Giannis. But if you hold Middleton to 10 points and less and just force Giannis, like, he has to score 50 plus for them to win, like, that's all you can do.
Well,
like, let's make Giannis beat you.
Here is a perfect situation. This is the ultimate analogy. If they get out of the East and the Clippers, say the Clippers get out of the East, out of the West, sorry, what's to say with the squad, with the bloody squad that the Clippers have, they just say, all right, Kawhi, we've got Paul George, we've got Lou Will, we've got Montrezl Harrell, we've got Shamet, we've got all these players. Why don't we just sacrifice you, Leonard? You can score 12 points a game. You just play on Giannis. You shut him down. And then history says...
It won't even be that, Dom. It will be like they'll throw multiple bodies at Giannis because Giannis is just a beast, yeah?
Yeah, I know he's a beast.
Like, Giannis is just Giannis. He's gonna get buckets regardless. I don't care what anyone says. He's improved his game. His three-point shots improved statistically this season. So he's taken more threes with more confidence. His game's improved. You've got another elite defender in Paul George. Now, Paul George and Kawhi can take their turns at rolling through Giannis. You can throw Montrezl Harrell at him. Then you can roll Kawhi and Paul George over to take Chris Middleton. And as I've said, shut down him, force Giannis to go off for 55 to beat you. And hey, if he goes off for 55, 60 points and beats you, like, hands off to him. You have to do it again next time because Chris Middleton can't even score 10 points.
Mate, they can put Patrick Beverley on Chris Middleton and they still dominate him. So it doesn't really matter who plays on him.
This is no hate on Chris Middleton. He's a three. This is just what I'm saying. He's not proven himself.
He's a three. No, he hasn't. And he got paid his money and everyone said, yeah, he deserved his money and this and that. Deserved for what? What have we seen? That's deserving money if he's a two. He's not a two. Anyway, we'll move on. Like we said, we're not bashing him. He's not a two. He's a three. Giannis is playing with a gap there. Someone has to step up. Hopefully it's your boy, DiVincenzo. He steps up. He can be the two. We'll move on to...
Don't worry.
We're skipping Orlando.
Yeah, don't worry about Orlando. Skip them.
Philly, we've spoken about them in the intro. We are done with them. We're going to skip Washington as well. We'll briefly touch on Toronto, a lot older. Fred VanVleet actually copped a knee knock in their first scrimmage. So they're monitoring him. If he doesn't play, it's not great for them. But a lot of veteran bodies in this team. They got Gasol, Ibaka, Lowry, and VanVleet. Technically, he's been around the traps. Siakam's taken leaps and bounds. He's a great player, Pascal Siakam. So I don't know. I don't think they can back it up. Just for the point of, even if they were to come out of the East, they can't beat either I don't think they can beat the Lakers or Clippers. So,
to be honest, I hope Toronto does well, man. Like,
yes,
I hope they do well, man. So, like, I mean, I expected, and like many people expected them to sort of fall off a cliff, but that's a testament to the coach
as well,
Nick Nurse, and you know, the players in that group and how well their team chemistry is, because you know what, they're sitting third or fourth and sitting second. There we go. They're sitting second at the moment. Like, I mean, that's a testament to them. And they're going to get a 50-win season when they've just lost their best player. What does that say about them as a team? You know?
100%.
But, you know, Toronto fans, you got your championship. I honestly don't think you're going to see one for a long, long while now.
Yeah.
But, hey, you got one. That's more than some other teams.
That's exactly right.
You
100%.
got one. And Kawhi will always be a legend in Toronto.
100%. We'll move on to our West review. We'll start with Dallas. Anything. That can be anything.
All right.
Got our boy Doncic. Got our boy Porzingis. Got our boy Seth Curry, he's cooking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I mean, everyone likes Dallas. Everyone likes Dallas. But you want to know something? And I'm going to give an opinion, and some people might not like this because, you know, everyone likes jumping on that Luka hype train. And don't get me wrong, I like Luka. And
Oh no, we could be disagreeing first time. Here we
think,
go.
I think he's going to be a great player for years to come within the league. But I don't know if anyone's watched Luka Doncic a lot. The guy sucks a hell of a lot. And he allows the referees not giving him calls to get into his head. The playoffs is harder. Teams play harder. I've said it. The whistle goes away. The teams get away with more. You get away with more hands-on stuff. He's just not going to cope. Like, he might win the first round. Maybe. I don't know who is. Depends on who they verse.
He's got Houston. Oh, in the first round of the playoffs.
The first round of the playoffs I'm talking about.
The problem
we don't know.
The problem with them is, they're a game behind Utah in fourth, 3 behind Denver, but then they're equal with Oklahoma, Houston, and Houston. So we don't know who they're going to play. They could play Clippers. They could play Oklahoma. I don't know. They could play Lakers if they finish 8th.
Yeah. And it all depends on who they play, but
my bad.
Really, if they fall, like if they stay 7th or 8th, they have to verse Lakers or the Clippers, they're getting down in the first round.
Yeah, they can't. They can't. They have to finish higher than 7th. They can't.
For them to have a chance to get to the second round, they have to finish higher than 7th. If they're versing the Clippers and the Lakers, anyone sits here and thinks that they could beat them in a 7-game series. No. You know, get back on your bike and ride them home. You know,
veterans.
You don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's just
experience, and they got playoff experience, so no chance.
I mean, the playoffs is a different ball game. We know this, Domma.
But honestly, it's good. You want a team like that, and they are going to play playoff basketball this year. That's what you want in a young team. They need to get
the experience. Like, this is all good.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Even if they get swept, who cares if they get swept? They got to learn what it feels like to be swept by a team. They got to learn what it's like to win a playoff game. Experience just the atmosphere of a playoff game. Not crowd.
Dallas fans out there, don't worry. Your Mark Cuban and that organization is going well. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, we'll move to Denver. Your boy, Bol.
Oh, don't get me started on that, Bol. I'm going to sit here and I'm actually going to give Denver a hype up. I actually like Denver as a team. They were good last season. They've got great chemistry. We've seen how Jokic has come back, lost 15 pounds or whatever. He looks way lighter. That's going to help him run out games because you can see sometimes by the end of games he's absolutely gassed.
Struggling.
Man, and like, I don't know, people don't give Jamal Murray much credit, but
he's a gun.
I think Jamal Murray's a better player than people give him credit for. Like, the guy can get hot. He's shown the way he can make plays. Probably the kick on him's been maybe he's a little bit soft in a way, you know, a little bit injury prone. Not the hardest player, but I mean, the team chemistry's there. I like the way they play off Jokic and Jamal Murray. Really, you know, he's a real off-ball player. You know, running off screens, getting those open shots, running the pick and roll with Jokic. Sometimes where Jokic is, you know, with the ball in the hands and at the top of the key. Man, I don't know. I just think Denver could potentially cause an upset. Like, they've got good chemistry. Like,
they can. 100% they can.
They played well last season, and who knows, man? Like, I don't know if Bol's going to get any time. Like, I would, if they do give him time, like, I don't think it will be much. All you people out there who are on the Bol hype train, especially in the hobby, like anyone who follows the card hobby, his cards went absolutely crazy after his scrimmage where he went off for 16 points and 10 rebounds and 6 blocks.
It's actually good to see that card prices are skyrocketing based off a scrimmage, which means jack shit, and they're not even going 100%.
Well, let me just tell you, I had a few Bol cards that I'd spent about $30 worth of Bol, and that $30 got me some nice cards. I sold 4 of the cards, made $20 on top of the $30 that I'd spent on the cards, and I've got all the other cards for free, essentially. So now I've got all these ball cards, and I'm hoping he pans out and becomes a good player in the future because I could be sitting on a nice little payday. But, yeah, I had to sell them once I seen them ride up like that off a scrimmage. Like, people are nuts. But, you know, it's the market we live in. People were frothing sports. It came back. They were want to see what Bol could do. I mean, Shaq's high on Bol. If you hear Shaq talk about Bol, he's really high on him.
Trained him.
Yeah,
he trained him.
He said, man,
trained with his son.
That he's never seen a big man do before. Like, so, I mean, you know, someone like Shaq, it's an interesting opinion. So I'm not saying Bol's going to be a flunk, but, you know, it's too early to tell. And I'll be honest with you, I ain't paying nearly $250 for his Prison Silver or whatever they're going at, or 150 US they're going at. So, something stupid. So, yeah. I mean, you could have bought them for freaking 15 or 30 just 2 weeks ago.
I know. We've got Houston next. Very small team. It is small ball. It's good. We saw Westbrook thrive.
Westbrook.
Westbrook.
Don't give me no Westbrook.
Westbrook. Austin Rivers had to leave on a personal matter. I'm not sure if he's going to play the first game.
What are your thoughts on Houston?
Too small. And I don't know.
What have I always said about Russell Westbrook? I'll get it on the record right now. Russell Westbrook will never win a championship. Russell Westbrook will never win a championship. He doesn't know how to win in the playoffs. Like we've seen so many times they get close, and then there's Russell Westbrook doing something stupid, taking a shot he's not supposed to take, going to the ring, trying to put it up against 3 players that are kicking it out. Like every playoffs, I'm waiting Russell Westbrook to do something stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a great player. He plays hard. Like, I love his intensity. Like, Russell Westbrook as a basketball player, what he's about and what he brings to basketball, and the energy and all that, man. I love it. But, man, he just does some dumb shit sometimes. Like,
The perfect example is Durant left you, Westbrook, because you did put up bricks and you did try and score with 3 players in the lane, and while he was wide open. You effectively should have beaten Golden State. You were 3-1 up. Were they 3-1 up? Yeah. 3-2 up.
3-1. I think it was 3-1.
3-1. You should have won. You thought we could close it out and you could do what you wanted. Like you said, you don't know how to close out. Not close out games, win big playoff games. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens with them. Anything can happen. Harden could dominate. Yeah, they're just a wait and see. The Clippers are next. I don't think there's much we need to say on the Clippers, really. Best depth in the league by a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the best combined defense.
The thing that's going to help them the most is all this time off, but you can make the same argument for every team. You know, Kawhi loves his rest, as we know, and that will help him enormously. But think about how much it's helped LeBron, a guy who's 36 years old, and has been able to, you know, take 3 months off and essentially just fine-tune his body, get massages every day, hit the gym every day, and just, you know, get stronger and just get better. Mind you, he's got his own personal chef that cooks him like the most, you know, outrageously nutritionist meal. So, like, I mean, we can make the same argument for everyone. So, I mean, the Clippers are got to be there. I hope they don't win because I'm a Lakers fan, and who wants to see the Clippers win a title? But, you know, let me just say they've got the claw on the team, and he's shown that in playoffs like last year. He's there.
He's clutch.
He's clutch. Like, you can make an argument maybe for his previous championship where he had quite a bit more help, but, you know, one last year, it's just...
He did it. As our mate...
The writing's on the wall there.
As our mate, Colin Cowherd, that we love so dearly, as he says, he's the best get-a-bucket guy in the NBA. He is. The best get-a-bucket guy. When you need it, he'll bail you out. and we've seen it.
Definitely on both
Next to
ends,
your
man.
boys, the Lakers. What's your
Lake
thoughts?
Show, baby. R.O.P. Mamba.
That's it. I've just got three guys that before I want you to give your take on it, but everyone said that there's no depth. I know Avery Bradley's not playing, and Rondo had his hand injury, and he's always got a hand injury. But Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith, and Markieff Morris, two of those three actually played before the break. J.R. Smith clearly has obviously come into the side. They've played scrimmage ball. That's fine. But Dion Waiters can play. Obviously, not to the caliber of some of the guys on the Clippers. He's a good bench player. Same with J.R. Smith, great bench player. Same with Markieff Morris. That's depth on the bench. I just want to hear your thoughts on obviously starting five with the Caruso clearly as the starting point, and your thoughts on Kuzma's impact to win it. Like, he's gonna have to do something.
Yeah, this is where I'm at with a Lakers fan, as a Lakers fan, and with Kuzma. I liked him. I liked him in his first seasons, and I mean, I didn't want to give up Ingram, but I just knew it was not a possibility to get AD, and by all means, like, it's been worth it. Seeing Kuzma putting in the work this offseason, with anyone who follows at Lethal Shooter, I think his name is, he put in a hell of a lot of work with this guy. I can't remember his actual name. I know his Instagram handle at Lethal Shooter.
I'll get his name.
And
keep going. Yeah.
He put in a heap of work, and he looked great. I even watched Kuzma play when he came to Australia with the US national team, and I watched him, in Melbourne play against the Australian national team, and he looked good, man. The jumper looked wet. I think in the game that I watched, he went like 4 from 4 from 3. It looked like, man, all that work's paying off. And then it just came to the season, and man, has he stunk it up. Wowee. He's just been the biggest.
Chris Matthews is the lethal
Chris
shooter.
Chris Matthews, aka Lethal Shooter on Instagram. I mean, any of you young guys or anyone that wants to learn how to shoot, just go watch his Instagram videos and watch what he says and put it into practice, because, if you do what he says, you will become a better shooter. I'm a testament to that. I literally listened to what he said, went out, once a week and started implementing what he said, and my shot improved. So, yeah, man, I think I'm at the point where it's like Kuzma's going to get his chance, and I think he's pivotal to us having success. But, I mean, we got LeBron. Like, it all starts and finishes with that man, yeah. It all starts and finishes with that man. He's a man, 2 years ago when he was in the finals with Cleveland, or that game, that one where JR stuffed up, he pretty much played the whole game, had to go like nearly the whole 48 minutes, and he put up like 55 points. I mean,
that was unbelievable.
He put up 55 points, and JR just stuffed up the game for him at the end.
And then he broke because he punched LeBron.
Right.
So JR cost him the game and broke LeBron's hand. And now he's playing for the Lakers, which is great for you.
I mean, it's good for us. We've got shooting. And don't get me wrong, I want JR to come on the team and let it fly, yeah? Like, you're going to get those looks with LeBron. You're going to get those open looks, and you got to let it fly. Like, LeBron, he makes the right play at the right time. It's what he's renowned for doing. You'll see he'll pass it off in big moments. But, and people like to ride him. Oh, he should be taking that shot. He shouldn't be. Shut up. He makes the right play. If you've got a guy who who's a 3-point shooter, knockdown shooter, and he's wide open on crucial play, you got to make the right play. So, man, where I'm at is, we're gonna need our role players to stand up. Don't get me wrong, but I'll be interested to see how well our defense does without Avery Bradley, because he's pivotal part on the defense. But yeah, man, I'm all in on the Lakers. I mean, I'm a Lakers fan, so of course I'm going to say I'm all in on the Lakers. But I think there's something just on LeBron's back at the moment. He wants to do this one for Kobe. He wants to prove to people that he's still the best player in the world, like at age 36. Yeah, like
Ultimately,
people are trying to take that
yeah.
mantle off him, and yet he's coming out here age 36. There's no one in the history of the NBA that's put up these numbers at age 36, right?
He ultimately as well wants to win in the West. He's been his whole career has been
Yeah.
he's won in the East. He's won in the East. Yeah.
He's one in
Let's
the
just look
weaker
at
East. He's one in the weaker East,
just
what people like to say.
ladies and gentlemen, just look at the standings at the moment before the break. He's 5 games clear on top with the team that he's got.
Yeah, with the team. Like, I mean, I don't think it's the greatest team, but I mean, when you put half decent players around great players, those half decent
They
players,
elevate.
they
100%
elevate
they
their
do.
level.
100%
And it all
they do.
sits on the defensive side of the ball, man. Like, we like to run, we like to get out, and that's when I've seen our play our best basketball, when we're being able to put good defensive stretches together. And I think that's where it lies, man. Like, we can put enough of those defensive stretches together at crucial times. You know, we're always going to be in the game. Like, when you got the best player in the world on your team, you're always going to be in the game. It's just about how you close out those crucial moments and how, you know, other players ready to take their moment when LeBron gives them the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm all for Caruso getting his minutes, but he's been a little bit hesitant to sometimes shoot his shots. But, you know, when your shot's there, you got to let it fly.
100%.
And that's where I sit at the point. And, like, yeah, I hope we can get it done, man. I hope we can get it done. It's been a barren, like, when LeBron came back, I was like, yes, we're going to the playoffs. We didn't make the playoffs last year essentially because he got injured. I was disappointed, but I'm hoping we can go all the way this season. Let's hope
wish you all
the
the
GOAT
best,
can
mate.
make it happen.
There we go.
The GOAT. The GOAT.
Let go. We'll see what happens. We'll just finish up this segment by combining these last 3 teams because I don't think you've got much to say on Oklahoma, Phoenix, Sacramento, San Antonio, and Utah. So I know Utah are in there. They lost
Sacramento. There's not much to talk about. Utah, you know, they've got talent. We love them. They got Joey Ingles on the team, but I just don't think they have enough. And I think is Bogdanovich is
Bojan Bogdanovich is injured. He's done. He's not playing. He got hurt.
Yeah. So I mean that's a big loss. You know, there's a good 3-point shooter. He's proven that, you know, he can really stretch the floor. You know, the interesting one I'm interested to see is OKC. I've got an invested interest in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Been following him since the Clippers days. Bought quite a few of his cards. Like, you know, I've got a whole quite a few. Man, I mean, I don't think OKC can do much, but, you know, I'm interested just to see what SGA can do. And that's and that's where I more sit with them. Like, I don't think that they're serious contenders. Maybe they make it out of the first round. Second round, I don't think so. You know, yeah, I just don't think they have the team there at the moment to surpass some of the other better squads that are there. You know, so
Definitely.
yeah,
the 3 teams that we're going to combine are obviously the 3 teams potentially fighting for that 8th seed in the West. Obviously, you got Memphis, Portland, which may be in a bit of trouble without Lillard. We don't know.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the team that everyone's watching that wants to finish 8th, the Pelicans. Got your boy Zion, and if it finished with them 8th, they're going to play Lakers. You got Zion, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart. Those 3, revenge on LeBron and the Lakers. Then you got Drew Holiday on that team as well.
Yeah.
It's Pelicans revenge as an organization against AD. This is what I want. I love the Grizzlies. We'll briefly touch. I love the Grizzlies. I love Ja Morant. I love your boy, Jaren Jackson Jr. I know you're very high on him.
Very high on him.
Gun. I'm also I got good feeling about Grayson Allen. I know he was a bit of a dud in college, he did a few stupid. He was a bit of a Draymond Green with suspensions and stuff, but I genuinely reckon he can be a great shooter. But the Pelicans are the team. I know you want the Pelicans in there as much as I want the Pelicans in there. So I think we just talk about the Pelicans here. And Justin Winslow, also from the Grizzlies, actually got hip surgery today, which is shattering for him. So all the best to him going into next season. But let's talk about the Pelicans just to finish off the NBA restart review. So
let's talk about the Zion bubble. The reason why they're in the bubble, like many people said, like this, the reason that they put these 8 games is to try sneak Zion into the playoffs because, you know, there's less stars there, no Curry, no Clay, no Durant, no Kyrie, you know, some other big names probably not there, but, you know, they're really hyping around Zion, man.
Well, we saw what he did when he debuted.
Yeah, man, the hype's real, man. I'm on the Zion train. People want to get on him. Oh, he's overweight. He's this, he's that, man.
Well, he looks in bloody good shape.
It's his first season. He'll be having some of the best dietitians, best nutritionists. Like, he's going to shed some weight. He's going to have another off season. He's going to get fitter. I mean, we've seen what the guy can do, man. He's a 2010 machine. Like, he's gonna average 2010 nearly his whole career the way he's going. Like, you know,
it's gonna be great.
He's shown that he can shoot threes. Like, I mean, I don't know what you want to say about the bloke, but like, he's potentially the next big thing in the NBA. He's like he's going to be the next face of the league, and you hear the way he speaks. You know, the way he speaks, the way he portrays himself, and the way he, always talking about team first, and like to have these things from such a young age to already be preaching these sort of things. Man, this just reminds me about when LeBron first came to the league. LeBron was very similar, you know, very like humble, very like, you know, always talking about the team and team success, and you know, and he stayed like that all the way now to his 17th season. So, I mean, yeah.
The good thing about now is I can actually speak this into existence, because I know everyone was comping Zion. Oh, he's like Charles Barkley. He's like Charles Barkley. He's like LeBron. No. You know what his comp is? His comp is Sean Kemp. Wake up, people. He's Sean Kemp.
Yeah, he's Sean Kemp with a better jump shot.
Correct. That is what he's. Don't compare him to Barkley. All right. Yeah, I don't think if you haven't got. I know we're young, but we've seen footage of Barkley, and I've watched full games that Barkley played in. Man, I know Zion's got a big butt, and Charles Barkley used his butt, but no one ain't got no Charles Barkley booty. I'll tell you that much, mate. For an undersized power forward to average what he averaged and have that many boards is just unbelievable. But his comp is like Sean Kemp, a big frame, big unit, super athletic, massive dunker. Like you said, he's got a better jump shot than Sean Kemp does have. And the reason Sean Kemp lost the plot a bit was he got a bit injured and he came back extremely overweight, and then the injuries just progressed after that. But don't sleep on Zion's comparison to Kemp. As you saw, it was really good watching that Jordan documentary as well when they played the Supersonics. The credit that Sean Kemp actually got for keeping them in the game against the Bulls. Like, don't sleep on Sean. And that's not a shit comparison.
It's not.
No.
Yeah, Sean
he's actually
Kemp
great. He's just a great player. Just a short-lived career due to injury. Yeah. But he was an absolute freak of a player when he played.
I mean, not the first player for that to happen to. You know, no, it's an unfortunate thing with sports, but
you know, Zion, he can be anything, and he's got the supporting cast around him.
But the thing is, can he make it into 8? Can Zion and the Pels make it in?
Well, I'll tell you what. This is who they got. I know you got. It's the bubble, all right. It's actually pretty tough. It's not as easy. Oh, actually, no, it's very easy after their first 2 games. And I think the NBA have done this deliberately. Anyway, they put their 2 hard games. So they got Utah, which is winnable now. They can beat Utah. They got the Clippers. Yeah. And then they go on this run of They play Memphis, which is a key game. They need to win that because Memphis are obviously ahead of them. So they've got to steal that game. Then they play Sacramento, Washington, San Antonio, Sacramento, Orlando.
What a run. What a run.
If you're talking about scripted, the NBA has scripted this. But just look at the stand. The only reason they're in this is because they're like, if we put Zion in, their team's on 28 wins. Oh, shit. We actually can't leave out Sacramento, San Antonio, and Phoenix because they're all within 2 games. Then they'll be like, what are you doing? It would be too obvious.
Yeah.
But we're not stupid, mate. That's the reason they're in it. So hopefully they get in there. We'll see what happens. They've got a good cast. They've got B.I. Lonzo Ball is what Lonzo Ball is. He's a passing guy. He's a playmaker. All right. He's not a scorer. I don't know what everyone expected him to be. He's not going to be like Chris Paul. There was a lot of hype around him. Probably shouldn't have gone the pick that he went. There's a lot of pressure on the Lakers to take him at that pick because he was from LA. But he's a great player. He's going to be something good.
I credit LeVar Ball building that hype.
Never lost. Yeah, he's all over it. I'll tell you what.
But in all honesty, my opinion is they ain't making the 8. I think Memphis has got enough firepower to win enough games in their schedule. They got a little bit of a tough schedule, but I wouldn't say it's like super tough.
Portland, Spurs.
Portland definitely winnable. Spurs winnable. New Orleans, obviously that's a toss-up.
The last 3 games. Look at that.
So by that game,
look at that shit. Look at their last 3 games.
All right. By that time, Boston, Bucks, sewn up. They ain't playing the top.
Yeah, they're probably not going to play.
So they're playing a softened roster. So if they get to that point, they're going to be playing a softened roster.
NBA screwed up. You should have scripted it. You should have scripted Boston, Toronto, and the Bucks as the first 3 games, mate. That's what you should have done. So then it could have been even 32 apiece, and then they played each other in the 4th game. That's what should happen.
Oh, man. The NBA is really trying to gift it to them. Really.
Yeah.
They're trying their best. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see Zion versus LeBron in the first round of the playoffs. Like, that would be gold.
Amazing.
It would be amazing. Like, it'd just be, interesting just to see how Zion, the new age, goes against, the GOAT of his time.
100%.
So, I mean, I would look forward to that, but I genuinely don't think it will happen. But nothing. It's sports. We've seen funnier things happen, so I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say it's 100% not going to happen, but I'm just going to say I'm seeing that
anything can happen.
5% that it won't happen.
Well, awesome stuff. That's our review of the restart. So
that's our review. Yeah.
Thursday,
all right.
Friday here in Australia. So that's pretty much
all right.
The show, except for now, we're here. This is what you've been waiting for.
Sauceys Smokey. Sauceys Smokey.
I'm going to turn over to you. Sauceys Smokey, we're going to get into some a hidden gem in the sports trading card world that a lot of people sleeping on. But our avid sports card collector here, Saucy, he ain't sleeping on this card. He's going to predict some stuff. I know there's a few people out there. You can get into it a bit more, just giving you a bit of an intro, mate. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Give us a bit of our Sauceys Smokey to finish off the show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just start by saying I believe that this card here that I'm going to tell you about is not being given the absolute respect that it deserves. And it's unfathomable of the amount of disrespect that this card is getting. Let me just throw off a couple of prices here of other players in a similar set that is selling for and their price point, right? You've got Luka Doncic, PSA 10, 325. All these numbers are in US dollars. So
and these are their rookie cards.
These are their rookie cards, right? I'll tell you the set. These are all rookie cards. I'll tell you the set at the end, right? But I'm just going to give you some prices that these players are at. So Luka Doncic, 325 for a PSA 10. For a BGS 9.5, 200. For a raw card, 50 to 65. Trae Young, a PSA 10, between 100 to 115. Zion Williamson, PSA 10. Last sale was on the 27th. 181. A raw card, 25. Ja Morant, PSA 10. 137. I didn't look up his raw card value, but I believe it's around about 15 to 20, just a little bit under Zion. Anthony Davis, PSA 10, 375, last sale as of 16th of July. Raw card, $36. Kawhi Leonard, PSA 10. Now, albeit the last sale was on the 8th of May, which was a while ago, and the card market has had a nice boom since then. So the last sale for a PSA 10 was 182. I believe that's not a true reflection because his raw value of this card is currently selling at 76. So I think for the next PSA 10, I think that will be a bit higher, maybe around the 250 to 350 mark. Now, they're just some numbers. Now, let me recap. Luka raw is going for 50 to 65 and PSA 10, 325. Anthony Davis, PSA 10, 375 and raw 365. Zion, raw 25. Luka, raw 50 to 65. All right, here we go. This card can be picked up for raw for $18. Now, that's the average of the last 8 comps because the comps are a bit all over the shop. But I got the last 8 comps and added them all together, divided by 8. Now, this card, I can't believe the price of this card. Let me just say, first of all, like once I noticed this and how much people are paying for these other players that have accomplished nothing. Other than Kawhi Leonard on that list, every other player there has accomplished absolutely nothing. Right? Nothing.
And it's all based on performance.
And supposedly the card market is based off performance and what you've achieved and these sorts of things and, you know, obviously your likeness within the hobby. There couldn't be a player that is in people's minds as soon as they think of basketball, right? The player that I'm about to bring up. And the disrespect, the absolute disrespect the market is giving this card is a joke, right? The last PSA 10 for this card went on the 9th of June for $350. That is less than Anthony Davis. That is only $25 more than Luka Doncic.
Seriously.
Are you believing these numbers? You know the card I'm talking about, Domma.
No, I know the card, and you did present some stuff to me, but I didn't know the PSA 10 stuff. Right? You're joking.
Now I think this card, once it sells again, it could potentially go up because people may have realized this, but we don't know. We don't know. As of time recording this, there are a few up on eBay, and by the time I post this, those ones will have been gone. And let's just hope I picked up a few of them, and we'll see where the price point's at. But at this point in time, even though you can get a raw card, you can buy 3 of these raw cards for one price for one Luka Doncic. I'm talking about, see that jersey behind me? Kobe Bean Bryant, NBA Hoops rookie. The Black Mamba, 5 championships, the greatest Laker of all time. The disrespect the market is giving this card is beyond a joke. Beyond a joke. I picked up a BGS 9.5 for 185 USD. That is nothing. That is nothing. A BGS 9.5 Kawhi Leonard sold for 120 on the second. A BGS 9.5 Anthony Davis sold for on the 25th of June for 175 USD. For $10 extra, I picked up a Kobe Bryant that's won 5 championships. You've got to be kidding me, people. Wake up. Wake up. And this isn't the only card this is happening to. Man, there's more. There is more, and I've noticed it too. People are overpaying for Luka Doncic, overpaying for Anthony Davis, overpaying for Ja Morant, overpaying for Trae Young. Kobe Bryant, legend. Give the man some respect. Sauceys Smokey, get on it.
Love it. I'll tell you what.
Are you not blown away, Domma? Can you believe those numbers? Honestly.
I'll tell you what. He comes with facts. He comes with facts with everything. But when it comes to sports trading cards, I don't even bother. Like, he comes with the facts. I'll tell you one thing.
I'll run some more numbers for you, mind you. And people they all get up and about their pop reports, right? The PSA pop report sits on this at the Kobe Bryant card, right? This card right here. Oh, that's a Zion. Wrong one. This one.
He's got one of them as well.
Right. I got a Zion. Don't worry about that. But while these idiots are buying for 25 USD, I was buying them when they were 5 Australian dollars and 10 Australian dollars, not 25 USD. Once again, he's overpriced. PSA 10s, there's 2,650 graded. Out of that, there's only 436 PSA 10s. That is a gem rate of 16%. To put that into perspective, right, Luka Doncic has a total PSA graded of 2,115. Now, you got to realize the rise of hoops only happened just recently. So a lot more people will be sending their hoops Lukas to PSA. So that number will rise. The gem rate on that is 72%. Meaning, out of every 100 cards you send in, 72 of them get a PSA 10. The rarity of this card, especially in a PSA 10, is ridiculous. Like, raw, it should be more than this. If you're paying 65 for a Luka, this card should be 150, maybe 200 raw. Why not? His tops cards like 400, 500 raw.
I know we've had a few discussions on this. We don't want to let all the secrets out of the hat straight away, but our views on the market, it's a bit skewed towards one direction at the moment with new players. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying.
And
unaccomplished players are worth a shit ton of money. I can't believe it. I understand they're playing and it's what you're watching, and that's why you base it on what you're watching. But why aren't you basing cards on what you've seen? And you already know what they're going to become, and they have become as a player.
Maybe when Luka Doncic wins five championships and an MVP and 2 finals MVPs,
mate, his card's gonna be
then
worth
maybe it can be worth something.
Mate, his card's going to be worth 10 Gs at a PSA 10 or a BGS 10 if he wins 5 titles. If his card's going for this now, he's done nothing. I know. It's going to be 10 Gs.
Or he could win no titles.
Or he could bloody do his knee tomorrow.
That's what we're trying to say, people. Like, just open your eyes. Yeah.
I know there's a few.
I'm telling you right now, I'm happy for you guys to go buy up all the Kobe's on the market. Please do. Please do, because you're going to make some money. Because once the market realizes, once someone like Gary V realizes that this card's way underpriced. Mind you, Gary V has posted about hoops. So be careful on that one. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the cards that he starts posting about. I'm sitting on maybe 20 copies, a few BGS 9s.
And there's also been a few.
So go out there and get them. go out there and get them. I'm telling you.
The one thing as well that a lot of people think that Kobe market, a lot of people took advantage when he passed away, rest his soul. They did take advantage of it, and they were flipping the cards for freaking astronomical prices and stuff. It was a bit ridiculous. They were just taking advantage of the moment. But that's once again, that's more. It is disrespectful to do, but it's disrespect in a general sense that he passed away, so his card's worth this much now. The card should be worth that as it is,
based off his accomplishments.
Off his accomplishment. And the one thing, ladies and gents, if you don't go out and buy it, when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, you ain't going to be able to buy the card. Because the card's going to double to triple in price. So, Sauce is giving you the Smokey now. It's the heads up. He's loading up.
NBA hoops. Look, here's hoops, same logo. This hoops, same logo. Hoops from 1996, same logo. Hoops has history in the hobby. People love to talk about history in the hobby. Well, let's give something that has history some respect.
That's it, mate. I love it. That's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been our first pod. It's been a long one, but yeah, let me just tell you, it's been enjoyable.
Well,
it's been
fun. About 2 hours. Jeez, we penciled in an hour.
We penciled in an hour, but we're aiming to get one good show out a week. We're going to bring a few different things as well. I've got some ideas to do some stuff to get the viewers involved and all that sort of thing.
Try and bring you as much content as we can, like Saul said, once a week, or even if something major happens in the sporting world, we'll more than happy to jump on and give a quick rundown of that and our views on the topic. If you love Sauceys Smokey, you can follow Sauce on Instagram at Saucy Collectibles.
Collectibles.
Cards and
Showcase my cards.
And also sell some cards on there as well. So if you're interested, he's got some great stuff on there. So thanks again, and thanks Sauce for your time, and look forward to doing it all again next week, mate.
All right.
Peace out, mate.
Out.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcasting app. Also, if you could please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that would be awesome. Don't forget to follow us on socials at DBL_coverage_ on both Instagram and Twitter to join in with your opinions.